So Wuthering Waves have been growing ever since their first update in terms of characters and also builds and kits. It's something that at the start of the game, a lot of people were even discussing whether builds and, build guides were even necessary for the game, but ever since the addition of a ton of new characters, including even Lumi coming out very soon, I definitely think it's now the time where kits and builds are very important. And well, obviously there are many different sources that people can go to whenever it comes to getting Wuthering Waves builds, whether that's YouTube videos, websites, and even more. But there's one website which has reigned supreme pretty much over the past couple of months, which is Prydwen. You've probably heard of Prydwen. Prydwen has been a very popular site, which again, it blew up mainly over the Honkai Star Rail kind of period because they, made Honkai Star Rail tier lists and also made some Honkai Star Rail guides as well. Now, obviously, I think they did a pretty good job with that. I think there was a lot of content creators that used it very often, and a lot of people were happy. But they've actually kind of expanded into other games, and I actually used Prydwen a little bit for stuff like Nikke, but they've also expanded into the Wuthering Waves kind of field, and well, some creators aren't very happy with that. Now, it's not to say that, these creators or anybody like that is unhappy with there being a kind of build guide website, but they've actually pointed out the flaws and different kind of aspects of laziness that has just gone into this entire page, which we haven't really seen with some of the other game categories like, Honkai Star Rail and other love categories in this website. So we're going to be going through everything you need to know about this and everything about Saint Tontas and what you need to know about what he says about the Prydwen kind of website. I'm pretty much keeping you up to date with everything going on and also explaining, what to do next, should you keep following Prydwen, or should you just not really worry about it at all? But before I get into this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy it, and also go to my Twitch where I'm going to be live. I definitely recommend going over there. It'll be down the link in the description below, or also in the pinned comment. So yeah, go check me out and I'll be there live. So yeah, go over there, check me out, go give me a follow so then you know as soon as I go live. And yeah, I'll be there live pretty much every single day. So I'll see you guys over there. Let's get back into the video. So this was the first tweet that kind of kicked everything off, which said, why is Prydwen advertising a CC leaking wuwa 2.0 on the front page of their tier list updates? Now, they actually include this entire thing. Now, we will go into this and actually explain why this is bad, but Saint Tontas actually made an entire video called Prydwen Can't Be Trusted, which again is an absolutely crazy title and it got 26,000 views in a day. So obviously a lot of people are very interested in this, and it seems like a lot of the community do agree with Saint Tontas here, is that Prydwen are kind of dropping the ball whenever it comes to Wuthering Waves content. Now, if we actually go to, this tier list page, it's mainly to do with this tier list page here. Again, a lot of the other stuff is not too bad because, again, it's just copy and paste information. But what they say here is they say, Wuthering Waves tier list 1.4 patch, and they say special thanks to I Went to Lose and I'm Ravenous. Now, let's bear in mind this says in brackets 1.4 patch. Now, maybe they're kind of talking about, previous helpers, because I know I Went to Lose and I'm Ravenous helped out, especially during the start of Wuthering Waves. But if we go to I'm Revenous's channel right now, you can actually see that, they're making Xenozone Zero content. Now, I have nothing against I'm Revenous or anything like that. Again, they do amazing content, but the last thing they actually covered was a changli guide, which was over 4 months ago. So you're listing an out-of-date build guide creator, and maybe they are helping you, in the background or something like that. But still, surely you should be going for someone who has a little bit more experience and, actually is more involved in the Wuthering Waves community than someone who hasn't made a guide on Wuthering Waves in about 4 months. Now, obviously, I Went to Lose still makes a ton of guides on Wuthering Waves and stuff like that, so that's totally fine. But there's even more stuff on this website which Saint Tontas exposes, which again is stuff like the changelog. And yeah, this was one of the main points that was brought up in this tweet, saying that they added some other thank yous here. They said especially Ethan, Gatchasmack, Sarah, Sweat, and Thunder. Now, obviously Ethan, Gatchasmack, Sarah, I've heard of all of them. They are, great people. They do a lot of really cool stuff for the community. But Sweat and Thunder, I think I've heard of Sweat. I think they're fine. But Thunder, if you actually go to Thunder's channel, you can actually see that they make a ton of leak kind of based content, which is absolutely crazy for Prydwen, who is supposed to be all this kind of official kind of work. It's not really official, but you get what I mean. They're supposed to be quite professional, They're supposed to be, checking their creators, checking that they don't use sources like leaks to make some guides and things like that, which they're doing right here. As you can see, you got Rocha explained, Carlotta explained. We don't have this information yet. The only information we have is some Carlotta artwork. Like, bro, where are you getting this information from? Now, obviously, you've also got other information from other games, including, you know, Mavwika from Genshin Impact and stuff like that, who still hasn't been released either. So again, it just seems like they're supporting a leak creator, which, you know, is kind of the wrong thing to do, especially on something like this changelog. Now, again, obviously, you know, they do the tier list thing as well. Now, there's a lot of issues that Saint Tontas actually brought up with this too. Now, I'm not too big on guides and building characters, so, you know, I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty of just like, oh, they didn't do this stat right, they didn't do that stat right. But it does seem like they have stuff like tags, which is a big problem in the community as well, because again, they just forget to add it, or they don't add one, or there's too many tags or something like that. For example, Changli, I'm pretty sure she was missing an expert tag for a while whenever she desperately needed it, and after a ton of nagging from the community, they finally did it. But also there's some other ones as well, like for example, they've got Tao Chi as heal. I'm pretty sure Tao Chi just heals herself, which again is absolutely crazy. But even if you go into the actual character builds as well, you can see that they're incredibly out of date too. Now, obviously we've got the, it says last major build / calcs update. So this is the last time they updated it, apparently, patch 1.3. But if you go over to the build, Ages of Harvest, nothing. Ages of Harvest, if you don't know, is Jinshi's weapon, and, you know, a lot of people did some calculations on it, and apparently it's actually pretty good for Jian. You know, who would have thought a 5-star weapon being good? But again, they've literally included no kind of description on why this would work with Jian or anyone like that. So again, it just seems absolutely lazy to me, and this has been an issue for quite a bit, ever since obviously the Jinshi weapon came out. I'm pretty sure, you know, they haven't actually added anything to it, and it's been like, what, 4 months to write a whole entire sentence. You're telling me you updated this in 1.3 or on October 7th, 2024? Well, I just don't really believe that, you know? It does come off as kind of just like bad and just unfinished and unpolished, that you haven't actually included any of this stuff. And even after getting called out by, you know, people saying that, you know, it's not there, you know, even before this whole video that came out yesterday, people were saying, where was this? And they still didn't do it. And I'm pretty sure they actually put in an announcement saying, hey, we're going to fix that as well. But they just didn't end up doing it, which, you know, just strikes me as very, very lazy. And this is why, you know, Saint Tontas has actually gone ahead and called out this kind of, you know, website, because it's not like, you know, we all hate Prydwen or something like that. It's the fact that they're just being super lazy, and that, you know, it just needs to change. You know, there's a lot of people that use this website that are using outdated things. For example, if you go to his combos and his like rotations and stuff, apparently this one's out of date. Again, I'm not a big stats man, I don't really know about all of this kind of stuff, but in Saint Tontas' video, he talks about it, and he says that it's out of date. So again, there is a lot of stuff that is just out of date, that is, you know, not added, and there might be a lot of people being like, okay, well, maybe they're short-staffed and stuff, and, you know, that's totally acceptable, and I understand that, you know, I don't think there's that many people working on it, but, like, if we go to characters like Camellya, they've also, in their build, they've also got an option for S5 weapons, which is just absolutely crazy. They don't really do it for any other character, but they had the time to write a whole sentence on why the S5 is the best weapon for Camellya, but didn't actually add one for Jian and the Jinshi weapon, which would be much more helpful for a player. You know, if we, like, an S5 is like, okay, it gets better. We know it gets better. But for Ages of Harvest, it's actually something that you need to consider and actually need to think, oh, wait, will this actually work with my account? Will this work with my Jian? And it's also really funny, if you go into the Prydwen public Discord, they actually chat about this all the time. They also chat a lot about Saint Tontas, and it seems like they don't really like him at all, you know? There was a lot of videos out there criticizing Prydwen. Obviously, Getchasmack made one, and I think there's a few other people. I think Ethan maybe made one as well. That's why, you know, they're included in this list. But they went around and actually left comments, Prydwen themselves, you know, the Prydwen account, saying thank you, you know, we'll take this into account, but didn't put it on Saint Tontas' one, which, you know, actually blew up. You know, it did good. I think that, you know, they definitely saw that video. It's just that they decided not to leave a comment on it for some reason. And, you know, there has been people in the community over there kind of, you know, shit-talking him and, like, uploading his videos. It seems like they're just a, you know, subsidiary of the Saint Tontas Discord, to be honest, because the amount that they actually talk about him. But, you know, it is crazy that they are just, like, you know, talking about this in a public space. Even the creator of the Wuthering Waves tab for this is talking about, you know, a lot of this stuff, saying that, you know, oh, it's Kura Games' fault that this page isn't doing good. It's not Kura Games' fault that this page isn't doing good. It's the fact that it's not updated, and that there's a lot of stuff that just hasn't been done, which obviously a lot of people are going to go to alternatives like GameMate, like other websites. I'm not saying GameMate's the best, by the way. You know, there is like probably some better alternatives out there. But again, GameMate is one of the options, and there's so many options that you can check. And that's why me personally, I do just check across multiple websites and just, you know, add up which stat comes up the most, or which stat, you know, is the most common. So again, I definitely recommend doing that as well, just kind of, you know, cross-checking between different websites to see what's right, and maybe some videos as well, because again, I think that it is important, especially if you've got clowns like this running pages which again are very outdated and just kind of wrong. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Hopefully the Prydwen do fix it, because again, I do like the overall layout of the website and everything like that. It's much better than a website like Game 8. It's very, let's just say, Japanese, and very, it's just not very designed well. But again, Prydwen do have a better design, so I do like that, and I do like the fact that they have stuff like these, like really nice tier lists and things like that. But again, we'll have to wait and see what kind of happens with that in the future, and to see if they actually change anything. Because again, I do want it to, you know, do good, and I do want people to get the right information. But, you know, first of all, we got to get off our asses and actually write a paragraph for Gion's weapon. But yeah, let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this. Do you think that it's a, you know, big issue with Prydwen at the moment? Or do you think that it's not that much of an issue, and that, you know, you can just go use a different website or something like that? Because again, I do think that, you know, a lot of people do use this website. I think they're being misled on some things as well, because they have been, you know, known to give you the wrong kind of builds and things like that in the past. So yeah, let me know what you think, and if you did enjoy this video, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.